All right, mixing and mastering. So, Christian, you as an editor, what is the difference between mixing and mastering?
So mixing is gonna be when you have different elements, separate elements. In music, that would be piano, a voice. You mix these things against each other to make them fit into an overall mix. Mixing ingredients, you're making a recipe. That's what mixing is. You need to have different ingredients, different elements, different parts. Mastering, and in the case of podcasting, mixing would be, mixing vocals. Sometimes you might have, two people on the show, and you need to make their vocals similar volume, things like this, or there's maybe music in the background as well.
Yeah.
This is mixing, taking these elements, relatively mixing them towards each other to get a certain result. Mastering is going to be when you have one file with everything embedded. Meaning if there was a podcast sent to me, there's 3 people on the podcast, I just have the one file, the one waveform. I can't turn up this person's voice. I can't turn down this person's voice.
Mm-hmm.
If there's music, as you said earlier, there's a fire truck, there's nothing I can do because it's one file. The volume knob turns everything up, it turns everything down. That is what a mastering job entails, meaning taking that one thing and manipulating it the best you can, whether that's with EQ or compression or a whole lot of different effects and processing that you can do to one file, if that makes sense.
Yes. Like, so if you're on a multi-track, right, that would be mixing because it's multiple files on one, right?
Yes. So you got the different faders. You can manipulate each element by itself. You can mute it. You can solo it.
Right.
That's mixing.
But if you take that multi-track and you kind of focus in on one, so like there's you, like this multi-track, there's you, me, and then like our intro and outro music. That's the 3 tracks.
Right.
So if you want to focus in on just your audio while you're mixing, would that then be also considered mastering? It's like so what is it called when you're editing just one solo track if it's not just all the mixing together? It's just called editing?
We typically call that mixing and solo.
Mixing and solo.
Which is
okay.
It's
called prepping.
I'm not gonna get too far into it, but
as
a sound engineer, you don't want to. They say do not mix in solo, because you can make something sound good by itself, but will it sound good to the thing? Will it sound?
Will it sound good together?
Good together.
Well, I think that's more true with music.
It's definitely very true with music. With vocals, it doesn't so much apply.
Yeah.
But I would still call that mixing.
Okay.
I mean, someone could argue like, oh, you're mastering the voice, But this is where it is applicable. If you're mastering your one voice in solo, not even listening to the other person in the podcast or in the interview, how do you know when you're done it's not going to be extremely louder than the other one? Or extremely lower. At some point, you have to listen to things together, and that's what mixing